Hey guys, so we're on board now and we're very lucky because they changed the plane to an A380, so it's bigger, just a little bit more luxe. But it is our first time to Amsterdam. Are you excited, Hobbs?
I'm really excited.
Yes, we're only there for a few days, but we are going to definitely check out the local food, the sights, do a little bit of luxe shopping. So if you enjoy travel vlogs, come along with me and can't wait to show you our adventures. Amsterdam, so we are right by the canal, as you can see. We decided to rent an Airbnb, and it is a small place, but it's nice and quaint, and most important thing is location. So I'll flip the camera around and show you this cute little place we are staying at. It's just like a little studio, so you've got the bed here, a little couch, got a little kitchenette, and then that's pretty much it, a little dresser, and then you touch this and it's a quaint little bathroom. And there you have it, just a very small bathroom. But honestly for us, it was more about the location. We wanted somewhere really central where we could get up in the morning and there's cafes all around. So yes, I have to say, accommodation in Amsterdam is very expensive, so be prepared. But yeah, just really loving the vibe here so far. Good morning, my loves. So first day in Amsterdam, and we are going to take a bike tour around the city. Now, I've opted for an e-bike because I haven't rode a bike for a while, even though I do know how to ride a bike. But you know, interesting fact about Amsterdam is that bikes number people 3 to 1. So it's definitely a city where you ride everywhere. So looking forward to this, and we are heading to our meeting point now. So the bike tour we joined was with Mike's Bikes, and the weather was a little bit unpredictable. It was a bit rainy, but it was totally fine. As you can see here, I'm wearing a poncho, and even though I went with an e-bike, you can definitely just go with the classic Dutch bike as well. So the tour runs for about 2 to 3 hours, and it costs about €35 per person, which I think is actually pretty good value. We rode through the Rijksmuseum. Yes, there's actually a public road just for cyclists to ride through. We also saw the Van Gogh Museum, and we biked past the Anne Frank house. We went through the district of Jordan. We went to Vondel Park, which was very green and peaceful, and probably my favorite part. And the guy just made everything better because he sort of mixed history with a bit of stories and quirky details you wouldn't normally know on your own. And just a little fun fact, Amsterdam actually has more canals than Venice. For me, it was the perfect introduction to Amsterdam, a mix of history, culture, and getting comfortable biking like a local. Definitely recommend if it's your first time in the city. After the bike tour, we went back and had a rest. I was really tired, but now we're on our way to dinner. We're actually meeting hubby's cousin and partner, and it was just a great night, catching up, enjoying delicious food. And then we just ended with an evening stroll by the beautiful canals. Hi my loves, from a rainy Amsterdam, but that is not going to dampen our spirits. Today I'm going to take you shopping with me to the luxury precinct, and there is an Hermes there, which Hermes is definitely cheaper here in Europe. I also want to check out a couple of pre-loved designer vintage stores, or even vintage stores I saw here. So I'm excited to check it out. It's our first proper day of shopping. So let's go. Okay, so the first vintage store we came across was Le Tour de Saint-Honoré. I hope that's how you pronounce it. And you can see here it sells brands like Chanel, Hermes, Louis Vuitton. So let's go and check it out. So here is some pre-loved Louis Vuitton. You can see the price of that little pochette. I think it was €600. That little one's $550. So I found the condition of these to be pretty good. It didn't say the ranking on the bags, but the prices were reasonable. I wouldn't say they were super cheap. You can see this mini Speedy is €1,000, which isn't that cheap in my opinion. And we have some more here. That's 1,250 euros. Some of the vintage epi leathers. That bucket bag there, the Canal, I actually own. Some vernis pieces. And then they had this cute black multicolor bag, but that was 1,750, which was pretty expensive. But there were a few discounted Louis Vuitton pieces as well. And the other thing that caught my attention was the Perspex tote, which is on the top shelf. And then in this cabinet, they've got some Gucci vintage pieces, some Miu Miu, that was 675, Balenciaga, and then they've got more Gucci as well in the cabinet. And this Miu Miu was 700 euros. They also had Dior. This bowling bag was 850 euros, which in my opinion was very expensive. The larger duffel was 950 euros. I'll just go back a little bit and show you. So yeah, quite a few vintage Dior items as well. And then here we've got some Prada, some Burberry. This one is probably a bit more of a mixture. Some of the Prada backpacks. And then this was interesting. In this cabinet here, they actually used pre-loved Louis Vuitton dust bags or Gucci boxes, and they're called the upcycled bags. So I found this pretty cool, especially that Louis Vuitton garden party-ish tote. And then here they have some vintage Chanel. Love that little heart clutch. Those two white sort of classic flaps are pretty expensive. They were about 4,750. You've got some Hermes wallets there. The Evelyn in the canvas mix. And then here we've got some more vintage Chanel. Of course, the black vintage Chanel as well. Depending on which one, it really varied in price. Like you can see, this black classic flap was 5,750, and some of the newer models were more expensive. So it sort of really ranged in price, from the cheapest being about 3,750 up to, yeah, it could be 10,000. The reissues in the metallics were kind of cool. They're around 5,000-ish. And then we've got the medallion vintage bag. These ones were cheaper. I think they're around 1,750 euros. And then you do get tax back in Amsterdam as well. And then just some of the larger bags on the bottom shelf. So although I didn't have any luck here, I think it's a cute little store that had a great range of different designer vintage bags. And I believe there's 2 or 3 stores here in Amsterdam. All right, just came across another vintage store. Let's just have a quick look. Besides designer vintage shopping, I love regular vintage stores or thrift stores. And surprisingly, in Amsterdam, they had so many. So this store was mainly clothing based. I found they had a great selection of menswear and women's wear, especially great jackets and trenches. And bonus, because hubby and I were actually looking for jackets too. Quite like this leather blazer. It's hard to find a leather jacket for, you know, a decent price. This is in pretty good condition. It's like 79 euros. That's what it looks like. I love vintage shops. So much fun. And hubby even found a really nice khaki, like doubled layer jacket with 4 pockets. I think it looks really good on him. What do you guys think? Thumbs up for me. So yes, we both did pick up a little something from this cool vintage shop.
Yeah, so we're at Koe, and this is the soto betawi, which is a beef soup with potatoes and tomatoes and a coconut-based broth. And why don't you give it a go?
We're not ordering too much because we have dinner soon. Let's try a little bit of the soup first.
Oh, this is an Indonesian restaurant.
Very fresh. Okay, shopping time. Let's head to De Bijenkorf, which is a huge luxury department store in the center of the city. And I want to head to YSL first because it's been ages since I've been there. And I looked at the Cassandra clutch, and this comes in suede, raffia, and leather, so it's been pretty popular. Nikki in raffia, that's quite cute. The card cases. Ooh, look at these brooches. And this is the Calypso bag. As you can see, the leather is a lot more grained, which really suits the autumn-winter collection. Also the Jamie shopping tote. This remains really popular. This is in the black, but it also does come in suede. And this bangle just gives me vintage vibes. Another bag that I've been thinking to add to my collection is the popular Sunko set bag. This is in the small size. I like it in the suede. Got the Mickey, and you've got, oh my gosh, so cute. Look at this little baby one. This is also new. This is the Y tote. Definitely gives me vintage vibes. Love how oversized it is. It also comes in black. So since it is spring here in Australia, I'm kind of looking more at raffia bags. I love the Jamie in the raffia. What do you guys think of this one? Or do you like this one better? I forgot the name of this one, but I don't have like a black raffia macrame bag like that. I like that it's kind of see-through too. But I know a lot of you have just hit fall, and if you love a bigger bag, my favorite is the Jamie in the caramel suede. So here is the small Lulu bag. This is relatively new. Look at the little baby one, isn't it cute? You could do a matchy-matchy, but this is more like an east-west shape. They actually don't do the toy Lulu anymore, which is the one I own, but I do like this new small version. And since I'm after a raffia bag, this is the Sunko set bag, which I showed you earlier, but just in a different raffia, a bit darker with a black trim. I quite like that as well. And this is the mini Sunko set bag, just in a little baby version. I think that is really cute. And just for something a bit different, this is a mini Audiere. This is in plexiglass. And the other bag that I quite liked was this lunchbox. I don't know how much wear I would get out of it, but I did like quite a few things I saw in YSL. Camellia. That's always been very popular. This has been such a popular bag. I forgot what it's called. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Celine, doesn't it? So I have this one. I've given these away as well to Vancouver. This comes in a faux sort of lizard print. Okay, now we have Bottega. This is like the Jodie, but this strap can be elongated. And then we've got this little guy, which kind of reminds me, maybe it's Bottega's take on the Mini Lindy from Hermes, sort of. Not a fan of these shoes. Got the drawstring pouch. This is quite nice. Classic Bottega bag. This is in the bigger size. This is a jumbo version. Okay, you guys know I love green, but I think these are kind of hideous. And then I own the mini Jodie, which I have to admit, probably not the best purchase. It's so cute, but you really only can wear it as a handheld bag. Of course, had to check out the ever popular Andiamo bag to see what colors they have. Brown, the black with gold, the white.
White with gold? This is
the same, right? Oh no, black with
the gold chain?
Oh, with the gold chain.
Yeah. This is brand new color collection?
Yeah, like a khaki color.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is the medium in dark brown.
In dark brown. Which has been the most popular color so far?
The dark brown one, always.
The dark brown? Yeah. It's a beautiful dark brown. But this one with the gold chain, it only comes in the black, so it doesn't have a gold chain in the other colors? Okay.
And with gold chain doesn't come with lifetime warranty.
Oh, only with the... Yeah. Okay. Andiamo? First time. We love it. Difference between the medium and the small. I really like the brown. I think the brown's nice. But the one I was interested in is the Andiamo clutch. And again, I really like the east-west shape. They had so many different colors. Do you guys like the clutch or the tote better? I mean, I love both. Of course, you know me, I love green. I thought that was really rich, and you know I love my jewel tones, but I actually really liked the burgundy as well. Okay, let's check out Hermes. Will I have any luck here? I don't know. So I love the mini garden party. Do you guys like this? I just think it is adorable. They obviously have the garden party in the regular size, the mini gypsier. You can tell there's very autumnal sort of colors. And then we've got the Birkin 30 here and the Pinkerton. Wouldn't mind adding another Pinkerton actually. And then we've got the Kelly. I think this is a 28. And of course the mini Kelly. Oh, I love that burgundy mini Kelly. The mini Evelyn in a couple of different colors, the Lindy in a bigger size, not sure what size that is, the Evelyn, and then another Kelly. And I'm still a fan of the Shadow Clutch. All the bags that I've shown, these were just display only, not available for sale. They did tell me after I'm not allowed to film, so I just took a picture of my favorites. And I am happy to say I did score a little something. I did love this Kelly Pave ring, but I didn't end up getting that. I will have my reveal coming very soon.
So here's dinner at Portugal and Windmill. No idea. So we've got the Dutch snacks with some fried cheese and meat and dips and pickles. We've got the burrata and the steak tartare. Bon appetit!
Good morning, my loves. Day 3 in Amsterdam, and today we escape the city for a half-day trip to something you don't want to miss. It's Zandskrans, the Windmill Village. It's that storybook, Holland vibe, clogs, cheese, old windmills, and today was the perfect day for it. Sunshine and blue skies. So our first stop was the wooden shoe shop, and when you're making your way in there, you see all these beautifully hand-painted clogs. There were high-heeled clogs, regular clogs, kids clogs. Oh my gosh, look at this Diamante clog. But here it was really cool because you actually get to see how they're made, from carving the wood to shaping it. The whole process is surprisingly quick, but it was really detailed. So of course we couldn't help but try a pair on. Look how pretty these clogs are. These are for kids. Okay, hubby's trying on clogs. How do they feel?
Can't walk in them. They're not comfortable.
They're not comfortable, are they?
And what do you have here?
Trying on the clogs, and can I just say they are not comfortable. I love the patterns. After that, it was time for cheese. We headed over to the cheese farm where they walked us through how their famous Gouda cheese is made. I learned it's not Gouda, it's actually Gouda. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly for all my Dutch viewers. And of course, the best part, the tasting. There were so many trays of samples. There was young cheese, creamy cheese, super sharp cheese, some with herbs mixed in. I definitely went back for seconds. And yes, a block definitely came home with me. After all the cheese, we had some free time to wander the Windmill Village. The windmills are so impressive up close. Tall, wooden, just spinning away. Each one used to have a different purpose, like grinding spices or cutting timber. The whole place is just so pretty. Little bridges, colorful houses, canals, and with the sunshine, everything just popped on camera. There was also little shops. There was a Miffy shop. You guys know I'm a huge Miffy fan. How cute is this? Little Miffy baby keyring clogs. And they just had everything Miffy. And Miffy is actually a Dutch brand. So the whole tour is about 3.5 hours, which felt perfect. It's only about half an hour bus ride from the city. So I feel like this was enough time to see everything without being rushed. So honestly, if you're visiting, this is such a fun little trip. Clogs, cheese, windmills. It doesn't get more Dutch than that, does it? So after we got dropped back to the city, since it was such a beautiful day, we decided to walk back to our Airbnb, have a little bit of a rest, and then we're going to head to dinner.
Sampurna, which is an Indonesian restaurant because they're known for the Indonesian cuisine here in the Netherlands. It's a lot of food, isn't it?
It's a lot of food, but I like that you can sample bits of everything, which is good. Good morning, my love. So this is our final day in Amsterdam. We had a big sleep in, but we're glad that the weather is looking good so far. And this is the little coffee shop that we went to for coffee every morning. And it was just nearby our Airbnb. And let's see what hubby is buying for brunch.
Alright, so this is the best rated fries place in Amsterdam. So I decided to try it for breakfast. And this is the parmesan fries with truffle mayo.
So today we want to do a little bit more vintage shopping, and we're at a store called Zipper. I think it's one of the oldest vintage stores in Amsterdam. They have a couple of locations and I thought their store was super cool. Lots of variety. And look at the ceiling. Look at the detailing on the ceiling. I thought that was very cool as well. They have women's shoes, women's clothes. They have a huge range of menswear as well. So this particular store had 2 floors. And like I said earlier on, I think the jackets here are so worth it. So I'm trying on this little leather bomber. I thought that was quite cute. The leather jackets range from about 49 euros up to 120 euros. I think this one was about 79. Trying on this brown blazer. I really like that it's got this stitching floral detail, which is quite subtle. Again, this was only about 59 euros. And I was hoping to find some vintage cowboy boots, but there wasn't any in my size. However, I did end up getting something.
We're at a bakery which specializes in stroopwafels, which is a traditional, like a waffle that you find all over Holland. It's a long queue.
How charming is this little place? Look at all the walls. And of course, what is a visit to Amsterdam without trying the stroopwafel? So we got a fresh one. Hubby's turn. So after that, we continued exploring around the city. This is the main part of Amsterdam. The weather was sort of like Melbourne, rainy, then sunny, but that's okay. We are just really enjoying our time here.
Every alleyway is just so beautiful, especially when the sun's out. Don't you think?
So to end our last night in Amsterdam, we couldn't think of a better way to end the trip than with a sunset canal cruise. And it was perfect because the sun came back out. So we are doing an evening canal cruise. And it's actually a really nice night. It's perfect weather for it. You can also get cheese and wine, but we are so full, aren't we?
Oh, but this is so relaxing.
It is really relaxing. So it's like 1 hour. So I'll just flip the camera around and show you our cute little boat. Okay, so this is our boat. Some people having cheese platters. And then it should be really nice because the sun will be setting soon. So we cruised past some of Amsterdam's most famous spots, the Anne Frank House, the Skinny Bridge, and rows of gorgeous canal houses just glowing in the evening light. So on this canal, this is where the wealthiest residents live, and you can tell by the houses because they're so wide. So our guide was great. He was telling us all little tidbits of information about the city, but my favorite was definitely the 7 bridges. How pretty does it look all lined up here in the evening light? It honestly felt like the perfect way to end our trip. Calming, beautiful. Amsterdam, you've been amazing. So if you enjoyed this vlog, give it a thumbs up. Up next will be my first huge Europe haul, so stay tuned for that. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye!